Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. We're going to dive into the video immediately. So I use this Ankara fabric. It's a double printed Ankara fabric because it has two patterns to design on the fabric, and I also made use of satin for the design. So I realized that the normal length of Ankara is 44 or 45 inches, and that will not be enough for the full length of the dress, so I had to turn it sideways like you see. So that's splitting the design into two, making it like two-faced. So half of it is one pattern and then the other half is another pattern. So after I had folded it into two, I marked the length I was using, which was 58, and then cut off the excess. And that excess is what to use for the pockets, the back facing, and any other thing that we could use it for. So after I had cut that out, this was what we were left with. So I folded the material into four, and we're going to be cutting out the back pattern of the Bubu dress first. When we cut it out, then we'll separate it and cut out the front pattern. So I marked 3 inches for the neck width and 1.5 inch as the neck depth. So and I just took it round like that. So that just gives us the neck, and this is for the back. So you can cut the front and the back together at this stage, but remember, do not cut the front pattern together with the back pattern. It could ruin things. So after that, I just marked where the shoulder is supposed to be, and I was working with 8 inches, so the shoulder being 16 inches, so this is 8 inches. So after that, I took the measurement of where I want the sleeve to end, and I think that was about 11 inches. And also, all these markings were the original design, but later on I realized that the fabric was excess and I could add extra inches, so I added about 2 inches on the sleeves and then the full length of the dress too. But this is just for people watching to learn. So with that, I came down by 11 inches for the armhole, which is how I wanted the hole to be. So I came down by 11 inches, and that's what you see me do here. And like you can see, I added 1 inch again, and that made it 12 inches. And then we marked the body of the dress, which I was using 16 inches on fold. So 16 plus 16 is giving you 32. 32 times 2 will give you about 64. So that's how wide the dress is. And then I just took that line, I marked it again on that part so that we could join it together, and then we just connected it straight down. Now it looks hard to some people, but honestly I feel like if you've been sewing for a while, to an extent your hands will become straight, not those measurements. So if you could look very, you could see that I marked there and then I cut extra because I added extra inches. So after that, we'll separate the front from the back, and then it's time to cut out the front neckline. And we're doing a V-neck. So from where I cut the previous back neckline, I went down by 8 inches and marked it there. So we connected it like that with a V shape with a ruler, just straight across to where the other 3 inches was supposed to be. And then it's just very simple. You cut that out. If you watch the video clearly, you will have a lot of challenges. So that's the V-neck. Then I took the satin fabric and I measured out, because the fabric was a lot. It was about 1.5 yard, and we just need a few inches of fabric. I think I used 20 by 12 inches, which at the end of the day still got to about 18 by 11 inches because I still had to trim off the excess. But I just wanted to cut out a rectangular shape to get what we'll be using. So I just marked where I needed it to stop and just use a straight ruler to go across that. And then I don't think I recorded where I cut it off, but yeah, so we just do the same. You measure 3 inches on fold, and then come down by 8 inches to get your V-neck, and then just connect the line straight up. So I was just trimming off the excess, which is what I didn't need, and make sure to check my measurements that they were correct. So that's what I was trying to do, just mark there. Because I didn't want it to be too wide. I think the first measurement I used was too wide, so I ended up having to cut off the excess. So depends on what you want to use in front there. But at the end of the day, I believe I had 20 by 11 inches because it's supposed to be about 9 to 10 inches. I remember you're going to be sewing the v-neck, and the other parts are for the sleeves. So remember, we have the black sleeves on the hand. So this is what we got from this satin, and this is what we'll be needing for the dress. So for the straps, I cut them at 5 inches so that when we fold, we can get 2 inches on each side. So I used the remaining pieces of the material to cut out for the pockets, and I knew I was going to be joining, so you might not really understand this part. I cut out 4 because it was the pieces. I just cut them out and just marked them how deep I wanted the pocket to be, and then just notch it so that I can remember where I'm turning in the pocket. So now for the facing of this front part, so you're going to place your dress pattern, the Ankara, on the wrong side, and then place the satin. The right side will be on the wrong part, so the wrong part will be facing up, like you see. So the front part is facing on the dress, and so like the both of them are facing wrong side up, and that's how I take it to the machine. If you can pin, I will suggest you pin your material, but I was able to do it without pins. So just sew the v-neck. Make sure you follow it with 1/2 inch stitches, so that this is what it look like. So it's as if both sides are wrong, facing you towards you, but when you turn it inside out, the front side is now in front of the dress, and then you can now sew on top of it. I don't know if you understand, but don't forget to notch the stitches so that it will lap very well. So that's what I was doing, and you have to be very, very careful in this process. I remember so many times whenever I'm doing this notching, I always end up cutting into the stitches, and then you have to go back to the machine to stitch again. It's very, very annoying, trust me. So be very, very careful. So it looks like this. I cut off the excess too. So it looks like this. The wrong side is facing up, and the wrong side of the dress is facing you right now. So by the time we turn it to the front side, the shining face will be on top of the front part of the dress also. So now we just try to arrange it to make sure everything is lapping properly. While arranging the clothes with this tailor's trick, there was no light, so I had to use my scissors to flatten it a little bit so that I could know what I was working with. And then I measured it again because I needed 3 inches on both sides, so I mark it 3 inches, mark that point because that's what we'll be stitching down. Remember, our stitching and we are folding the stitches inside, so we are bending that excess inside the dress, and we're stitching on top of the front part. You will see just now. So as I was trying to explain, so you fold the dress like this. And then sew on top of the dress as closely as possible to the edge so that it will be so neat. You don't want to have excess, so very tiny stitches. So I took it to the machine, and that's what I was doing. Like you can see, very tiny. So this is the front of the dress, and you see like the stitches on top, and so this is what it looks like. Remember, it's looking a little like not arranged because there was no light at all, so I couldn't like iron or have like the best, I'll say, but I tried my best. So the next step I did was off camera. I had to go sew the facing of my back part of the dress. I forgot to cut out the facing on camera, and I also forgot to video that too. But it's really simple. You just cut out the neck measurements on another fabric on the back, and then sew it from the front side facing each other, and then you turn it over, and that's the facing. So I took it to machine and sewed the shoulder parts to join them together, which is like both of the dresses facing each other, the back and the front, and then we just run the stitches along. So this is what we have. So I'm going to turn it inside out for you to see, and this is what it looks like. So the next step for us was, I was just trying to align it, make sure everything is neatly arranged, and then we're going to attach the sleeve, the black design at the edge of the sleeve. I did not record this part. So what I did for this sleeve was I did adding that black thing. I did like the way you add bias to a cloth. So I first of all sewed the front side facing each other, so that, and then I picked up the other edge and then pulled it to the front and stitched over it. I don't know if that is clear, but you could also do it the easiest way by folding it into half and then just sew round. That is the easiest, but I wanted it to be wide, so that's what I did here. So if you can see, the inside looks like it's smaller, but the outside is wider. And I hemmed the end of the garment, like the bottom part, just fold and stitch over. And then I believe the last thing to do was just to weave it. And so this is the final look of the dress. It has two different patterns, two different designs. How do you like it?